It sound right, boy.
I'm sure.
It sound right, boy. It sound right, boy.
Yeah. Welcome to the Comfort Low Podcast with me, Jenny Schmanny, my boy, Papers.
Paper Man back with a banger man. What up? It's your boy Paper Man back with a banger man. We sitting here with Jenny Schmanny on a Comfort Level Podcast at WCFD Radio.
How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm hanging in there.
Yeah. What's up? What you do today?
Nothing.
Long day or what?
Yeah, long day. Just did a bunch of babysitting my own kid and stuff like that.
Yes, right. Being a dad.
Yeah. So you know.
Yeah. See, you got your glasses on the back.
Yeah.
With your eyes, you can't see what that's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we got some great guests coming today.
Oh, yeah.
You know, yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Oh, okay.
You know, we got some crazy stuff, you know,
Oh, yeah.
or whatever. No, good stuff, crazy stuff. We got our excellent guests coming today. It's going to be Mr. LARIE Jr. He's a award-winning performing music artist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, he all about the ladies and whatnot.
Yeah.
The songs. He might have you, man.
You might have me.
He might have you.
Yeah, he got the ladies down
He
packed.
might have you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might have you.
Oh, wow.
He might have you. And then after, you know, we talk to him and find out what he's been doing throughout his career and whatnot, we're gonna have a more serious talk with NALD RAINEY, and he's going to, you know, talk to us about some experiences that he had with social injustices in the prison system. So,
Oh, okay.
okay.
All right. Great.
So, with that being said, and you know, the usual,
Yeah, our mission.
usual bangers. Yes, like, because if you just been here, you got to know what we do, right?
Right.
So if you've been here, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
I mean, you know,
We are a community based on promotional platforms, exposing our voices to bring awareness to brands created by our people for the people. We use our voices to share truth, creativity, and encouragement with guests and listeners to nature and heal and inspire them in hopes to effort to make the world a better and more empathetic place. Here at WCMD Media and their academy, we are becoming part of the spotlight for the county of Camden to build and enhance the quality of lives, bringing awareness to our outlets, programs, and self-help. So our guests range from city/councilmen, businessmen, officials, independents, entrepreneurs, and mainstream artists and creators. We're also bringing in independent music, not to mention great visuals from our surrounding cities and areas that support cities either directly or indirectly. What up, what up, what up? So that's what we do here at the Janie Schmanny Comfort Level Podcast and WCMD Media.
That's what we do. So, you know, I got a few announcements as Papers, you know, Papers, he gonna pick a banger and we're gonna play some music for you. I do have a little announcement for you for some upcoming promotions that can help you guys' career. As you know, I have my own independent radio station. Okay. We need sponsors. Okay. We need sponsors here at WCND. So we're putting together a little platform event here in the studio where you guys can come in and bring your samples. And then I'm going to do your one. I'm going to offer to record your own commercial for WCMD, the Comfort Level Podcast, and also opportunities to put your music or your business commercial on my radio station worldwide. So that information is going to be coming up shortly. You know, as soon as we put it together, you know, I got to go over some things and whatnot with my partner here, and you know, then the event will be coming up. So what we got, babies? You got the event. How's the garden? What's going on?
Garden good, coming along good. Did a few things. I want to talk about my first artist that I'm going to bring to the Back with a Banger.
Tell people what Back with a Banger is.
Back with a Banger is you bring your story and your hottest whatever for 10 minutes and you just do your thing. So my first artist, since you know all you rappers out there is scared to hit paper up like, yo, what up, yo, let me get on. I know a few rappers that want to get on right now. As soon as we find some slots for y'all, we gonna put y'all in. But my first artist that's gonna come.
Before you tell them who your first artist is, okay, that's gonna come. Before you tell them that, let me ask you something.
What's that?
What is that gonna do for these artists? Okay, they come here, they get on the podcast for 10 minutes. What happens? What does it do for them?
Well.
Why should they come?
Well, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna get radio play from the Blog 105. You're gonna get royalties from your music being played for 30 days. RCM independent. For 30 days, you're gonna get your music played. You feel what I'm saying? Everything comes with a fee though. Don't get it twisted. But it's $25.
No.
$25.
Don't give them a fee.
Okay, don't give them a fee yet.
No, because I might break them down something.
Okay.
You know, I'm not.
All right, yeah. We gonna keep that in the air. You feel what I'm saying? But right now, I would say ride the wave. You know what I mean? Because once we get big, it's gonna be hard to, what playoff Cavs say?
That's right.
It's gonna be hard to get to me. You know what I mean? It's gonna be hard to get to me.
We got to make history.
You know what I'm saying? So, also what you get is you get to be in the video vault. You're gonna go into a video vault of ours, and it's gonna be classic 10-minute spits for everybody that comes, and we're gonna always have them on deck, and we're gonna continue to play them over and over and over and over again. As
Mad
long as we want.
exposure.
Mad exposure. So
Internet radio is taking over.
And if y'all don't know,
we're choosing. Listen,
if y'all don't know, Jenny got over 30,000 followers on the Blog 105, which I forgot. 30,000 listeners. 30,000. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a zero up there on people watching us, but we don't care about that. She has 30,000 listeners. You know what I'm saying? That's how she makes revenue for you artists. Well, for me, for Smart Easy, for certain people right now. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? She has over 30,000 listeners. So you're going to branch out to 30,000 different people. This ain't just, you know what I'm saying, the running your mouth. We going to run down the street and Tom, Dick, and Harry is only going to hear you. No, we're not just West Philly, South Philly. No, we're state to state to state to state. You know what I'm saying? 30,000 listeners, Block 105. You know what I'm saying? Come on down to WCMD Radio. You know what I'm saying? Media. Come on down to the Comfort Level Podcast. Chill with your boy Paper Man back with a banger, man. And get yourself heard and get yourself listened. All right?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
That's what we do.
Well, Smart Easy. Oh, my God. I did it. Smart Easy is going to be performing September 25th in that Novi Records. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's going to perform in that as a spotlight artist.
That's great. Shout out to Smart Easy.
That's going to be great.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, and we also got on the 25th too, DC Productions, right there at His and Hers, that I will be performing at, that Meek 46th Street will be performing at, that Brooklyn Bands will be performing at, and a host of other people that will be there in the building.
Nova Wave, I'm sure. Nova Wave, she has to be performing.
You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have it popping, and we also got a show tomorrow. B&B, please come down for the.
Where's that at on 9th Street in Darby?
Yeah, shout out to Biggs, man. He got a dope show coming up, popping up tomorrow. He has 3, 6, 9, 12, almost 12 to 13 artists performing, and they're all hot. So everybody come on out and do your thing, you know what I'm saying, and see these artists that you've been seeing for the last, you know what I'm saying, year or so, you know what I'm saying, do their thing, you know what I'm saying, come out, repeat their music, do what you got to do, show love, you feel what I'm saying, because you paid for your entry and fee. So have fun while you do that, you know, at the same time. Never be a mush.
No, so I guess it'll be in a few minutes. And like I said, Mr. LARIE Edwards Jr. is an award-winning performing music artist. Try to wait for him to pop in before I read his bio out, let you guys know, so you can see that great smile. I love his smile. You know, I listen to his music. Let's get a banger. You want to, well, I didn't want him to introduce his track.
Nah, tell him he can introduce his tracks.
All right, we'll wait for him to come in.
You know,
and
also, what else we got coming up? We got MC Light coming up on September 4th. One of my favorite friends, Lola, shout out to Lola. She's going to be performing that night. I got to give a shout out to her.
That's why he's papers.
Uptown,
that's why
in the house.
I can't
SV,
keep up with everything.
Somerville, you feel what I'm saying? Like, listen, shout out to Lola, man. She's going to be doing her thing with MC Light, Nina Ross, and Miss Jade, and a host of other people.
Shout out to Simply Monica, Heat 100 Radio.
Yes,
okay,
indeed.
now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's coming up. Y'all can get your tickets. You can bust up in there. I think the ticket starts at $40. They got
$75 for VIP.
Up and up. $40. You can at least afford that. Get your behind down there. All right.
Absolutely, it's gonna be dope, man.
Right.
And also,
I'm trying to roll.
Also, guess where I'm gonna be performing? I actually got you don't even go ahead. I was actually doing this for somebody else, and I got the deal of a lifetime, and the ball actually got dropped on me, so I had to end up paying that tab, and it's all good because I'm Paper Man, back with a banger, man. I'm never going to turn down nothing. So I'm actually going to be performing me. I'm going to be performing at Made in America with your boy Memphis Bleak. Do say nay.
There you go.
And get paid. We'll get paid. Somebody, y'all know what it is, man. I forget names like I'm.
Look, I got everything.
But listen, Made in
here.
America, man. It's going down.
I got everything crossed up in here.
The after party with Rhyme Murder is going to be the
network.
shit.
It's about that network. You know, you got to do the network. Yeah. Yeah, you got to do that network. If you too. And you gotta do the network. If you don't do the network, you're not gonna get nowhere. Sitting around, you know, it just all depends. What you showing us?
That's the show.
All right, I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? That's the show right there. And it's only one performance slot left. So we got Big Play Dre, Memphis Bleak.
Oh, that one, I saw that joint.
Memphis Bleak and Do Say Nay. And Do Say Nay. It's going down September 4th.
It's time for
secret location. DJ Pooh's the DJ. DJ Pooh G's.
Pooh G's in the building.
And hosted by Big Hustler. Yeah, I mean,
so what are you gonna sing? Like
Papers. I'm back, nigga. After 5 years, nigga.
Well, let's get into this paper man. Back with the bang, man.
Money making machine.
It's a toss up between this and
Now I'm all about that cash flow. Got 100 bills of $100. That's 10 stacks. My pants sick. My pockets full. I got 40,000. I lean forward. My flip forward. My flip crazy off $1 million. It speak for that peace portion I bought for $100,000. I put my money in it. Paper short by the general. See, rob nigga got a problem with it. I slide in it by the 750. Hit it right back by the night. I bank right. I'm TD. You see me on TV plus 4D and a hologram. My bad chicks. I smile, man, my dollars, man, got 3 O's. Cleveland, who I play for, my home run, big cake walk. Let the bass drop on that bass hit. No errors on this, no just big bucks and pit houses. Fast cars, side of hoes that I'ma see all of that night. And they slide in with my grand blow. Then double down with $1 million more. Then smooth island, tight flow. I'm all about this Benjamins. I'm spinning it, plus swimming in. Add it up, it's check it right then, break me down my dividend. They call me paper man, got paper bands around my money. I talk that paper man, cause I'm paper man and I'm about that money. They call me paper man, got paper bands around my money. I talk that paper man, cause I'm paper man and I'm about that money. I talk that lingo, that Benjamin, that Jackson, that crack. Even Hamilton get stamped in, cause my passport's got stamped. I don't wonder why, my nigga, I just go wild when I do it. Stay fresh with that music, keep that hot shit producing. Prolific with the shit I say, I'm bouncing off the wall. Give me it strapped up, both bleak now, it's platinum on my record. Cut the check, cause I was erected. I'm frostbit with my necklace, see my pink ring sticking in. Diamond shining, forget risk. Mine's on my security, buy some money, don't ain't shit to fly. But it mean the motherfucker lie when I gotta pay that entourage that I got. I'm G'd up and my feet up. That's believe, watch my camcorder, my time for my parents married before door. My shoe boots from Barney's, man. High price, best price, right? Take a flight to high school, the weed and light, it's nice and bright, roll the dice tonight. I'm speed of life, but I like it's night. Women all around, the hype the night, so I'm taking her and I'm taking you. I'm hoping all y'all can ride. They call me paper man, got paper bands around my money. Paper man, I'm about the money. They call me paper man, got paper bands around my money. I talk that paper man, some paper man, and I'm about that money. I'm in the streets like those white lines. I got white lines for that white higher.
All right.
What up, Mr. Edwards? How you doing, son?
How you doing? You moving. Be still. All right.
What's up?
We'd like to welcome our featured guest, Mr. LARIE Jr.
All right.
He was born and raised in Richmond, Virginia. Started singing in church and school choruses around the Richmond area. What's that? What under the teaching of your father? Mr.
hmm
Lloyd Edwards Sr., a well-known local church pianist and choir director. Wow. Tell us a little more about how you started music and poetry at 9 years old.
Absolutely.
Tell us. I'm not going to read it. We want to hear from you.
All right. Well, I started at the age of 7. Good evening to both of you, first and foremost.
This is my
Uh,
papers.
yeah,
I apologize, Mr. Larry.
yeah. How you doing? I started at 7, just watching my father play at different churches, and then I wanted to sing and play. Even though I wasn't really serious about it, I got motivated. From watching him direct choirs and stuff like that. And we and D'Angelo's father, we all went to the same church, and both of them played for the same church. So eventually, I got in school under the tutelage another teacher, Mr. Alvin Campbell, who was my middle school teacher, who inspired me once he heard my voice and started singing in school choruses and getting solos in church and school, and then I entered talent shows. And as I got older, I decided to pursue music as a major at Norfolk State University, where I attended, which is a HBCU. I earned a bachelor's degree in it. I've, you know, got into poetry in high school, won various competitions, including the state competition. Poetry was just something that I always liked to do too. Throughout and past college careers, I've traveled all over. I got a chance to open up for the great Ohio Players in Richmond, Virginia, at an event called Fridays at Sunset. I've opened up for Jaguar Wright in Baltimore doing a hair care event. I've also opened up for early 90s R&B legends Intro. Rest in peace to Kenny G. Love Green. I did that at the Sugar Bar a couple of years ago. It's just been, I've won various awards in 5 to 6 different markets. Detroit, Washington, D.C., both 2-time Spoken Word Billboard Award winning Best Male Vocalist, the Caliwood Awards through the Caliwood Nation, a blog station based in Los Angeles, California. And I've won 3 to 4 Dub Cs. This will be my 4th one. I'm newly crowned. This happened in Green Bay. R&B Artist of the Year for Dub C's 12th annual award show. I've also won I've also won Bronx Unsigned since I'm based in New York now. The honorary Luther Vandross Award in 2016. I had my first album was Poetic Love, which I'm gonna get on iTunes and other outlets. But presently, I have an EP entitled Love Anthems, which has a little mixture of poetry and R&B singing. So just to give a nutshell, of where I've been musically, what I've done since almost signing a major record deal. I decided to take matters into my own hands and things of that nature, and just make music for the adult contemporary crowd and try to revive that flavor, but do it in somewhat of a new flair by mixing in the poet. Well, it's not new because Jill Scott did it. The last poets before her did it. Stokely Carmichael did it. So I'm trying to awaken another, reawaken it in my way, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you a question. Going all the way back, like, okay, so you was influenced by your father, who was a pastor. How did you?
No. My father was a church musician. My grandfather.
Church musician.
Yeah, my grand. Yeah, he was a church pianist and a choir director.
Right.
Now, my grandfather, however, was a preacher. But yeah. So
the question is, how did you adapt your style if you was brought up in, like in a religious temple, listening to music? What was that your only influence?
No. No, not at all.
Age. At such a young age.
From listening to my father, he would play, things around the house like My favorite singer of all time was Donny Hathaway.
Okay. All right. Well, his signal wasn't that great, so he popped out. But I mean, he has great music, so uh, and we're gonna try to bring it right back in. It's great. Laurie, he done a lot, and his music is sort of renditional to Temptations and that
Absolutely.
good down Teddy Pendergrass,
Mhm.
straight R&B. And
Yeah, all those
you know,
awards that he got. Shoot, I'm surprised his shelf isn't
yeah.
cracking.
So we're trying
Yeah,
to
sorry about that.
Nah, you
Sorry
all
about that.
yeah, you can always come back.
Yeah,
We're saying,
but yeah,
going over some of the things that you said.
yeah. My father, he would play things like play people like the Isley Brothers, Aretha Franklin, Ohio Players. My favorite singer of all time was Donny Hathaway, um, Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, Al Green. So I got influenced by a whole lot of
Of
different things, and
course.
then me being a child of the hip hop generation when hip hop was, I was into Big Daddy Kane and LL, and
Mhm.
that's what
Yeah.
inspired the poetry, KRS One,
Right.
BDP,
Of course.
you know, all the way up into NWA, Two Live Crew, Biggie, Tupac. I mean, I was influenced by hip hop as well, and I incorporated in my style, even though it's mostly contemporary R&B, but I do, I have a little anthem called "Poetic Love." You might have seen it live, Miss Janet.
Yes.
I put on the Craig Mack beat, the flavor in your ear,
Oh,
and I
okay.
do the spoken word thing. And just I mean, I always get a good response every time I do it, and I have the crowd singing with me, kind of like a church anthem, like a call and response. So
It's great,
Right,
and the
right,
familiarity
right, right,
gets
right.
people. Papers here is also a lyricist and a performing artist as
Yeah.
well.
Nah, I used to I came from the same background you did. I grew up in the church or whatnot. I was a lead singer at the church for the choir and stuff like that. So, that's where I got a lot of my inspiration from, and my mother. She was my inspiration of all time, nobody else, just my mother. But yeah, man, that's great because when you got that stability and that structure from church, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
yeah,
they make sure you on point. They
now see, he didn't just come
yeah,
to church. I want to know a little bit more about how he started to network. Like you don't just run up on these legends and get to sing with them, tour with them, get
well,
ripping awards and stuff like that. How did
wow,
you
well,
start your grind?
his time back in the day, they did that. They was all around each other all the time,
What
so
do you
they
mean
got
it's
connected.
time back in
Yeah.
the day?
well, I mean, one thing I learned is I mean, before things changed within recent years.
Right.
Oh, I stayed talking to people. I stayed performing. I stayed doing open mics, and a lot of times, depending on the level of your performances, I mean, if it strikes a chord with somebody, you're gonna talk to somebody that knows somebody.
Mhm.
Rich Money, I gotta give him his props. He's a former hip hop artist, uh, a former major hip hop artist. He has a radio station called Q Palace Radio. He played my music, and he liked what he heard. He liked what he saw, and he was instrumental in hooking me up through DJ, not Kid Capri, DJ Kevski. DJ Kevski was instrumental in getting me on stage to open up
Oh wow.
for intro at the Sugar Bar. And a lot of people has just been from networking and doing trying different internet stations, and then came the awards, and then I'm getting flown out by a particular radio station in 106, the situation in Atlanta. They flew me out, paid me, did things, you know what I'm saying? So it's a
Me.
constant hustle. You just got to network. But these, I tell artists all the time, man. I mean, you just can't stay in your circle. You got to go out sometimes. And mostly on the beauty of the internet is you can connect with a lot of different people that are doing a lot of different things.
Right.
So, it could put you in position, if you network well and try to perform well, of course, but, it just depends on what genre and what crowd you're going for.
Yeah.
And, just keep a constant hustle. Right now, I don't think there's a lot of people that are making music for the grown and sexy no more, like talk. I mean,
Yeah.
there's people out there, but it's just like, well,
Yeah.
it's not getting exposed. Let me not say that because I've heard some really dope artists that's just not getting exposure that's doing soul music. But as far as like promoting themselves, it's not being promoted heavily. People that are doing the adult contemporary or the neo soul jazzy type. I wouldn't consider myself neo soul. I'm more R&B than anything. But I mean, people that want to go for that type of vibe, there's not too many people that's being promoted that is doing that. So it's like people are stuck with just very few selections now. So my thing is that they're diversified and kind of bring that vibe back a little bit in a new way. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit. I got this track.
Hmm.
It's called Baby Making. Tell us a
Baby
little.
making love.
Yeah, I know it.
um, Oh, well, not that people, as they get up in age would think about making babies, but you can't reminisce, you know what I'm saying? When there was a time when, because I actually wrote the song a very long time ago, and I got with if he sees this broadcast, I gotta shout out Mr. Brian Sullivan, who is my Norfolk State colleague. We were both music majors. We always talked about working together. And we only did a little cover tune in college, but I said, Brian, man, see if you can fix this up because this beat is too 90-ish. So he vamped it up. I took it to my man Q Banger. Shouts out to him that he produced a few songs as well as recorded, mixed and mastered. So if you ever come up to New York City, please look up Q Banger, man. One of the best engineers in the city. But it was just one of those fun kind of love making songs,
Let's
Yeah.
hear it. Let's
Awesome.
hear
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully you
Let's
like
get
it.
into this joint right here. It's called Baby. What is it called?
it. Baby Making
Baby
Love.
making love, baby. Yeah. Ooh, how sweet this to be, bearing the fruit of love so passionately. The way you walk into the bedroom so eloquently illuminates my soul completely. I wanna taste all aspects of your sensuality. Lay your body down. Let me indulge myself slowly. Oh, baby, make you oh, baby, make you This is so heavenly. Inside your walls of love is where I wanna be. Being next to you brings about my wildest fantasy. This is destined to be.
The love we share so freely, completely, with endless possibility. I wanna make love to you in the worst way possible. Show you all the things a man can do when he loves his woman. You know that I love you so much right now. All I want from you is that baby making love. So I want it, I need I said, don't keep me, baby. Don't keep me from my baby making
Yo,
I see
listen.
the ladies is already
Yeah,
on
they are.
here. I had to go check the comments because I knew they were saying something. Taisha, I know you know about that music because you all the way from Richmond, Virginia.
Oh yeah, that's my homegirl. She definitely know about that music. Yeah. My high school buddy right there.
That's what's up, man. I looked at one part where you hit it. When you hit it at, you run that drum right there. I said, yeah, that's the one right there. That's the part right there. Man. I like that.
When I first heard it come in and stuff, I thought it was like Norman Connors or something. It was like,
Oh, that's a hell of a compliment.
Music no more like that. You know what I'm saying? Where the substance and you know you explaining. You know what I'm saying? What a woman needs and what she wants. Like you telling her. You know what I mean? So that's dope, man. I like that song. It's catchy. Absolutely.
Oh, thanks, man. Shout out to Brian Sullivan for producing it and whoever likes it, man. By the way, it's available. LARIE, LARIE, Love Anthems on Apple, Spotify, Tidal, all that good stuff. You know, I'll be sure to. Yeah, so it's a part of that. But I'm glad, man. I'm just trying to bring that vibe back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Just
with no question.
you
You know what I'm
know.
saying? Because we're missing something in hip hop and I don't know where it's going right now. And we need to get a hold of it and bring it back, man. Hip hop, R&B, everything, man. It's like we losing touch because all this scattered music that we forgetting about R&B. We forgetting about where it came from and you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I just think that there's room for everything. I just um think that people we just need more diversity. You know what I'm saying? We need to appreciate where it comes from. We need to appreciate, you know, what's out, you know, what we find catchy that's out now. You know, we need to, you know, one thing I can say, even though I probably wasn't born in the 70s, that was like our 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like what the 70s, what the 70s was to the generation before us, that's what the 90s was like to us. Like, you know what I'm saying? You had diversity, you know what I mean? Like real singers was coming back, you know what I'm saying? You had the Jodeci's, the Boys, the Men's, the As Yet. You had so many groups like Day. You had guys that could harmonize after 7. You know what I'm saying?
And let's not forget about our guys that used to ghostwrite that were we didn't even know that they didn't even produce that type of music. You know what I mean?
Nah,
Yeah,
Montel Jordan. He wrote "Stranger in My Bed." Like, you know what I mean? Like that.
yeah, Montel Jordan.
You would
You
never
know,
know
and-
that. You know what I mean? So like I feel
yeah,
where Mr. Edwards is coming from, man. Like that era,
yeah.
like he said, was the 70s, was the 90s, like it was for us.
Baby Mix wrote everybody's songs.
Yeah, yeah, well, I mean, like in the '70s, I believe you had the Shy-Lights, the Isleys, the
Yeah,
Ohio Players, Earth, Wind, and Fires. The Gap Band didn't come to the like late '70s, but I put them in there, even though they was mostly early '80s. But yeah, man, I had Donny Hathaway, which was my dude. You know, I don't think he ever got his respect. And
no,
I was 14 discovering him. I'm like, what the heck does this youngin know about Donny Hathaway? I'm like, hey. That was my dude, you know what I mean? You had so many artists, back then that were diverse in their own right. And listen, I had to give so much props to even in the '80s. You get '70s. Phyllis Hyman. Phyllis Hyman was
oh,
out since the
oh
early
my God,
'70s.
yes.
Phyllis Hyman. Phyllis Hyman was out there a long time, bro.
Let
Like
me
she
tell
was
you
putting
something.
out stuff in '73, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe still to this day she was one of the best singers in the world. Besides my mother, but she was, man.
Tina Marie.
Yeah,
Oh,
she.
Tina Marie, you got to throw her in the conversation. I
Yeah, you
mean,
do. You
Tina
do.
Marie, Patti LaBelle. I mean,
Patti LaBelle never stopped. Okay, Patti LaBelle's like 74 years
nah,
old.
she's
Patti
still
was
going strong. You had the
Yeah, I
Delphonics.
think
still up in
Oh,
there for
her
25.
prime was like what,
Still
40s,
up in
50s?
there for 25. And shout
yeah,
out to
man.
Patti.
You
She knew
you
that I
had,
said that if I had to be quarantined with anybody and they said who would it be, I chose her.
oh yeah, man.
So with
Patty,
all your
what's
work that
up?
you got going on, Mr. Edwards, I never heard you say anything about a Grammy. Do you have one, or like is there in the works?
Uh,
Do you have something?
that would be nice, to get a Grammy or be nominated for one. Of course, that's a lot of well, I was about to say more work, more hard work, but I could see that happening in the future. But you know what? I can honestly say I have over 11 awards that I can't name, Indie Awards to my credit, and they all came from 6 different markets. Like I said, Detroit, LA, Chicago, Washington,
Think
down
it
Green
really
Bay,
worked.
Yeah.
Washington D.C., and it's another one. I forgot. There's 6 of them. New York, yeah. So if I never get a Grammy for whatever reason, I can cherish those awards because it means that I did accomplish something. I did strike a chord with a certain audience. You know, but I'm never gonna stop striving to do that. But as long as I can enjoy and eventually make money at something I enjoy, I don't need to be a blockbuster artist and have Michael Jackson status with people
Yeah,
falling all out and running, chasing me and all that. I don't need
absolutely. I would love that. Shit,
suit yourself, bro. No. I
I don't
don't
know
see
why.
how
I
you
just
did it.
would love it. I swear. Listen, I would love to hit the corner and all the girls go wild. Like, hey, bros. And I'd be like, nigga,
Maybe y'all should roll together then.
I mean, I've had, some, people come up and like, do a little dance to Poetic Love or, people acting like I'm just some superstar or something like that. It was cool. Like, hey man, I'm out here working just like you. Like, like,
Can I ask you
but
a
it,
question, sir? I wanted to
huh?
know, with all your credit and everything that you do and your writing skills and things like that, would you be inclined to do other people's music, or you feel what I'm saying, or you're just that good that your writing skills is just there, and it's like, all right, I'm working on me, and say if somebody was to write something
Well,
new would fit you perfect, you know what I mean? Would you be inclined to
oh, I'm
do that?
open. I'm open. Actually, the crazy part is I haven't released it yet. I'm getting ready to do another EP. I have a brother. I don't know if you got the song. There's a song called "Captivating" that I sent, which I wrote and Jeff Suttles produced. But Jeff actually wrote a house track for me
I have
called
it.
"Feel the Music." He wrote the lyrics and everything. Now you got "Captivated." You don't have "Feel the Music." I wrote "Captivated," but he actually wrote that. I don't know how you get that one, but if you say you got it, I guess you got it. But it's called
No,
"Feel the
I have
Music."
captive.
And Jeff.
No, because
Oh yeah, yeah, I wrote that one.
okay, because a young man such as myself,
No, go
I
ahead.
have you know, like I told you, my background was in I was a lead singer. Now, I have a lot of music. I have a lot of music or R&B that I wrote. I wrote two albums
Mhm.
in prison. It was called Depressed. It was called something. It was, I forget what it was called, but it was for a female. And it was called Down and Depressed. But it was about, you know, it
Mm.
was an anthem. I wrote a couple anthems and I wrote a couple uh ballads too. So, you know, it's just I just be wondering like how a person like me could get that off the ground, even though I'm not a singer, I don't sing at all. I can harmonize, I can still sing from back in the day, but my voice changed. So I don't really like have it like I used to. So I just write because I went to school for writing. So I just wanted to know if you had some insight on
Oh, I'm open.
how would I be able to get
Um,
into the game with that,
well,
sell
I
my
mean, you can start with people like myself, or um, start with different singers that you know. I mean, me, I'm open to trying, people's songs. I'm not just I just write my own stuff and that's it. Nah,
yeah.
if you if you have something that I think I could really deliver, I'm open,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
then too, I think you can go through companies like get somebody to record it for you,
Mhm.
maybe with a different singer if you feel like you can't really deliver it the way you want, and you can go through companies like Taxi, I think, and try to auction your song off that is for sale for different artists and stuff like that. There's ways to do that. I'm actually thinking about it myself and writing for other people, because I
Yeah.
mean, except for one song, a majority write my own music, you know.
Oh, okay. All
So,
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
So what
most
about
definitely.
that captivating? Because I do have it.
Yeah.
Um, I wrote "Captivating." That's produced by Jeff Settles. I met him a few years ago at some club in New York. I don't even know how I met him. I was performing somewhere. He just slipped me a card and he sent me an email. Hey, I got some tracks I want you to listen to, and that one stuck out the most. And I wrote it like within that week. And someone else was trying to get it that wanted it, but they kept half stepping. I was like, listen, man, let me get on that because it just brought back a vibe, man. When I heard the beat, I'm like, you know what? I think I could rock something to this. And he was told that the beat was trash. So I was like, well, let me show you better than I could. We can show him better than we could
Let's
tell him.
find
And
out. Oh
Facts.
my God.
Well, let's get into that.
That's crazy.
Let's
You
get
said
into
the
that. Let's
beat
get
was
into that.
trash. Oh, that's trash.
that's what he said.
They said that beat was trash. See,
I see this girl walking by on the corner. Contemplating my speaking cause I want her. So afraid the motive being shy. I said hello, sister, you caught my eye. She was amazingly so cool. So inviting, she made me feel brand new. Moments into a conversation, her mind was on so much elevation. She really got it going on. Perfect number, can't go wrong. She's so captivating. I can't get Beauty so radiant in their eyes, imagery very deep in my mind. Not to mention her body is banging. Personality got me curious and hanging. I'm so back in her time. So it's waiting on. She's more complicated. She's she got the she really got it going on. Perfect combo, can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, I love it, man.
Somebody getting lucky.
I love it.
Thank you.
Somebody getting
Yeah.
lucky. He was
Thank
you.
Right. They didn't see. I could tell that you listen to beats and you find out what it's going to tell you, how it's going to talk to you.
And then
So that's what you did.
Yeah.
You took somebody else's mistake and turned it to a gem. I mean,
Yeah.
I tell you,
It was nominated for Song of the Year.
yeah.
It was nominated for Song of the Year. I was like, let me get on it. Let me get on it. I performed it at the National Action Network Christmas program a couple of years ago. For those that don't know, that's Al Sharpton's organization. I was asked to be a feature artist there. Got a great response. Every time when I perform it, I get a pretty good response. It was just a fun song to do, man. Just talking about
Facts. That's all you
Yeah.
really worried
It
about.
was
You know
up
what I mean?
popping, wasn't it?
As long as they could groove and shake and bake,
Yeah.
that's what it's
Yeah,
about.
man.
Making people feel happy and enjoying yourself. You know what I mean? When you get up off your feet because the lyrics and the beat move you, then that's a good thing. You did a good thing. Smiles on people's face, people was clapping and everything. So that's what matters, man. That's what matters. That's great that you have that talent and you bring what you bring to your side of the town. You know what I mean?
So how often do you have like a set schedule that you put out music? Like you'll say maybe I'll put out 2 tracks a month or
No, I go off a mood. I go off a mood and feeling like Average Brother is gonna be re-released. That came from my first album, but for the people that know me for Love Anthems, might not know me for my album Poetic Love, or they know Average Brother. So I said, why don't I release that? You know, and because what's old to you and old to some people is new to a lot of people. So what I might do is I don't. I release things off of feeling, like,
Absolutely.
and it feels better to me that way than to say, oh, I got to do this by a certain date, because I can't stifle my creativity like that. You know what I mean? It's like it comes out when it comes, and then once it comes out, I like to let it linger. I like to let it marinate, like, what I'm saying, some stewed chicken, man. I want to give you some, give that person some, let that person over this section didn't hear it, expose it. You know what I mean? Because I think if you putting out a whole bunch of albums and you have 8 albums and no consistent fan base, then I mean,
it's wasting songs, right?
yeah. So you let people like marinate on your stuff. Like, I can honestly say that I have a few songs that a lot of people, underground, maybe not you until now, actually know. Like, I have songs that I'm actually known for, like Average Brother, Falling in Love, Poetic Love with the Craig Mack beat. Now Baby Making Love and Captivating. If you can like put stuff out there and perform it to a point where people's out on social media, people's out on the street. It's like it's like watering seeds. You got to spread it around. Give people a chance to let it sink all in before you just, it's nothing wrong with writing, but because I have songs on layaway. What I said, I'm gonna put this out at such. Yeah, I'm gonna put this out when the mood feels right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. Facts. I understand, man. You know what I mean? I got 20 something. But yeah, I like that, man. Like the creativity has to come to you organically and it has to flow like a river in order for you to do it. Just like me, I will rip a rhyme up, an R&B song. If I can't talk to myself in poetry with it, I'll throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I actually take my time and figure things out. You know what I mean? I always give 1,000 different messages in one song. You know what I mean? And I see that you do the same thing, man. You wait for opportunity. You wait to put your music out. You like to write when it's the perfect time, not when somebody tell you or a set date or anything like that. That's great. That means that you have the ability to really make good music, good lyrics, substance, and quality.
I think bringing back Average Brother was a good idea because, I manage a few artists and even myself, I might not know every single song. So one of my artists, when I first met him, he already had a CD out. And I was listening to it. I never went to that bottom song, never went. And when I finally went to that bottom song, I liked that bottom song more than I liked anything that was on there. Right. And so, so he's about to do like a classics type album and bring his stuff back.
That's good.
So we got Average Brother. We got a few more minutes with you, and we're gonna play that. You put that back. Yeah. What was the name of the album again?
Well, the first two is Love Anthems. You can get it. Captivating the Baby Making Love is on Apple Music, Spotify. Title Average Brother is Sitting Alone by Itself. Re-released this single on its own. It's on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, and iTunes and various digital platforms. So you can look it up.
Hey, Mr. Evans, listen, I look forward to working with you, good brother. I can't wait for us to exchange numbers and you hear my passion behind my R&B. It'll be great. But let's get into this Average Brother, man. Let's get into this Average Brother.
Cool.
Because it started out real nice. I like.
And I also want to invite you to stay with us as our next guest come on if you would like.
Okay.
But
I'll stay as long as I can because I'm still in the school. So I wasn't gonna be able to home.
I see that. That's why I was trying to get you. You know what I mean? All right, let's get into this. This is Average Brother. I haven't heard it.
He got that jazz bass in the back, like.
I think you just got the instrumental. I thought I sent you the track.
I don't know.
Even if it is just the instrumental, let him vibe. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you go vibe. Do your shout outs.
Yeah, do your shout outs.
All right. Don't try hard not to play. I don't make six figures, living check to check. Hope I've answered any questions you may have. No, I don't know what you're looking for. Don't know if I'll be the one that you'd adore. No, I'm not a fly guy, maybe not a perfect guy, but I can say at least I'm a real guy. But if you could just be that's on the inside of me, there's beauty to know, beauty to know. I'm your average brother. Mm-hmm. Yes, I am. Can't wine and dine you. Can't buy your fancy thing. Can't buy your meat coat and bless your fingers with $1,000 rocks or ring. I'm just a dude job juggling, everyday struggling, brother who's hustling. I hope you understand. I'm a simple man. I
Simple
don't
man.
know what you're looking for. I don't know if I'll be the one that you don't know. No, I'm not a fly guy, maybe not a perfect guy, but I can say at least I'm a real guy. You can just
What's
see
on the
me and what's
inside?
on the inside of me. There's beauty to know, beauty to know. I'm your average brother. Average brother, they should see. But if you look deeper, girl, I know of yeah. Ooh, yeah. I want to give my shout out, first and foremost, my mother, my
Thank you,
father,
thank you.
Gloria Taylor Edwards, Larry Edwards Sr., my daughter Muffin, uh, everybody out there listening, Taita Lewis, Douglas Battle, L'Oreal Hines, my Richmond, Virginia crew, everybody from the 804. Shouts out to Miss Betty Rogers, Norfolk State family, Mimi Lamar, Granville Reed, high school. Who else out there? Duncy's Entertainment, Brother Rob the Poet Brown, Willie Duncy's Jones, Boss Lady, for Boss Lady Radio, Global Family Network, Teresa Taylor, everybody. If I didn't call your name, please don't get mad at me. All right. It's just too many to be here all day and night. But
602, 602. They liking it, they feeling
shouts out to the 602. Definitely,
it.
man.
Very nice having
Definitely,
you. We thank you for
definitely,
coming. We thank you.
definitely.
I
I'll
know you
try
got
to.
a day. What we gonna do?
Yeah, I gotta charge my phone too. So,
That's okay. All right. Thank
all
you
right.
so
Thank
much.
you so much, man. Thank you.
Okay, make sure you share it on YouTube as
I
well.
definitely will. I
All right.
definitely will. All right.
Thank you. All right. Coming up next, we got our guest, RAINEY. But first, I'm gonna add something we want you to take a look at. Why, as I call him in.
Now to this. Lives lost behind bars. The NBC 10 investigators found that hundreds of Pennsylvanians died last year while they were in the custody of police or of Washington correctional officers. Tonight, investigator reporter Claudia
There they go.
said how often this is happening
I got
inside
it.
Philly's jail. He was never declared guilty. He never got a chance to go to trial. Eva Diaz is heartbroken over the death of her son, Frankie Diaz Jr. Frankie was beat to death in August inside Philly's detention center. He was in there on a felony drug charge. Where were the COs? Why are they not paying attention? How did this happen? Frankie was the first of 5 homicides inside Philly's correctional facilities since August. Prior to that, the jails hadn't seen a homicide since 2017. But there's something obviously going on that's different, that people are being murdered inside the jails. Well, we believe that the pandemic, with the onset, as you know, prior to the pandemic, we were a mass movement jail. Inmates are spending more time inside their cells.
Blanche Carney is the Philadelphia Prison Commissioner. She says inmates have pent-up frustrations from the COVID-19 lockdown.
Admission back to Philadelphia prisons right now are dangerous. People are killing each other. People are dying.
Claire Schubeck-Richards is the executive director of the Pennsylvania Prison Society. It's a group that advocates for humane prison conditions. She wants the prison population to be reduced and an increase in correction staff.
Getting a safe staffing level is dependent on the correctional officers union and the city administration working together to solve the problem.
Philly's prisons have 200 fewer staffers since the start of the pandemic, according to city records. Meanwhile, the number of inmates have increased to pre-pandemic levels. But knowing what is actually happening behind the prison walls can be a challenge. The city prison department reports its death numbers to the State Department of Corrections. Those numbers are posted on their website without any verification. Carney believes the auditor her agency hires to look at all deaths is enough.
So you don't think then that there should be like a state agency or a federal agency taking a look at the deaths?
No, I don't. I think we've been transparent. We're sharing information. We have the auditors in place. I don't think that there's a need for that.
In addition to raw numbers, the state now also collects federally mandated death in custody reports. This is the report that the Philly prison staff filled out regarding Frankie's death. It gives the very basics: date and time of death, location. The summary statement says he was assaulted by another inmate. But a state spokeswoman says the state doesn't review any of them. It simply sends them to the feds. The federal government is only using the death and custody reports for statistical purposes. That leaves the Philly prisons to oversee itself and determine on its own what changes, if any, are needed. Eva Diaz wants more oversight.
I blame the city a lot. They were doing a good job.
For the investigators, I'm Claudia Vargas, NBC 10 News.
The federal government is only using the death in custody reports to track statistics. That leaves the Philly prisons to oversee itself and determine on its own what changes, if any, are needed.
See, that's crazy. That's why the prison system right now, CFCF, is going crazy. It's no guards in there. It's like 4 guards to a probably like 1 or 2 guards to a whole thing. Like it's going down crazy.
After a violent Mother's Day weekend in Philadelphia, police are asking the community for
All right, we back. There's too much interference. Noise. I apologize for that. Back with the banger, we're waiting for our guy to come in. RAINEY, speaking on injustice. You just saw the video. That video was taken about 3 months ago, and it showed you some of the conditions and what's going on inside of Philadelphia prison. As I'm sure there's different circumstances and people have different experience. Our guest, RAINEY, is coming today to tell us about his experience. He comes up to us via internet to discuss social reforms needed in the jail system. So as we wait, it was at the banger.
Now let's talk about these.
No, kind of wait for him. Talk about what?
Paper man, back for the banger man. Can't stop by the hanging man. The
flow so sick, I created West now. 45 blow, open niggas like canals. Gliding in the gondola, streaming with style. Chilling out Venice with a chick named Lucinda. Then fuck her way to the top, no matter how she end up. I like straight money, I don't like it when it bend up. Smooth player with the brims up, keep my heads up. Investments with entities, gotta keep my circle up on stock. My people off the very out of table. The difference between new whole money on the label. Black card American Express lead groups. The chair lean back when I'm flying in the coop. Don't deny it, I'm the truth. I'm a product in the booth. Don't claim to be 1, 2, 4, or 5. I rather ride high with that ship in the sky. With them numbers, through the work that I do ahead and figure. You a baller nigga, then bring your hardest nigga. I don't give a fuck if he acting hard or retarded nigga. I'll get him charted to a different planet. I'm a wild individual, biting hard as an animal. If you a baller nigga, then bring your hardest nigga. I don't give a fuck if he acting hard or retarded nigga. I'll get him charted to a different planet. I'm a wild individual, biting hard as an animal. Fuck acting, I spit a verbal magic elastic. Take your pops, make you feel like a bastard. Back against the wall, pressure on shit and get drastic. Bitch, I mastered the game. Ooh, you been an action. Split back with somersault and Ashton. Fuck asses. Spill wine shit all over my flashes. So acting and acting up, get you smacked. Now you backing up, get you hit with a Mac truck for popping and flashing. Rhymes I swallow, I'ma spit it back up. You can put it stack up, just stack up. You gon' need more than just a ladder. Mind over man, I splatter niggas will be bladder. I'ma have it cause me a man of damage. You think a million with days for the label is a victory. Come launch you, a border, I'll duck up on your history. I boss all flip words and rhymes talk slickery. You can't get to me, so I picked it when you feel like you a baller nigga. Then bring your hardest nigga. I don't give a fuck if he acting hard or retarded. I'll get him started to a different planet. I'm a wild individual, biting hard as an animal. If you a baller nigga, then bring your hardest nigga. I don't give a fuck if he acting hard or retarded nigga. I'll get him started to a different planet. I'm a wild individual, biting hard as an animal. Shots from the shotty blow you hard like the Gotti flow. Rip your ass in half, you dead with a gangster go hard. And take your right, get a naked, then spank the hoe. She dicks up, finger herself to my tanker blow. This war, nigga, like it or not, we can battle, send bars, these hot he's on fire. The world's spinning, leaning on its axis. I orbit up in this space and give you what you asking. You calling this the space jam, get your face slammed. Big head NBA tan, before you let it quit, man. You think you froggy down, leap into the sea. Take you to the jungle, then you rumble for your life. Creep a double-edged sword, no matter how it play out. Base hit, lead off third, a small way out. Most niggas keep it absurd, that's why they played out. Why the real fighting in fields and make the way out. You a baller nigga, then bring your hardest nigga. I don't give a fuck if he acting hard or retarded nigga. I get him started to a different planet. I'm a wild individual, biting hard as an animal. If you a baller nigga, then bring your hardest nigga. I don't give a fuck if he acting hard or retarded nigga. I get him started to a different planet. I'm a wild individual, biting hard as an animal. If you a baller nigga, then bring your hardest nigga. I don't give a fuck if he acting hard or retarded nigga. I get him started to a different planet. I'm a wild individual, biting hard as an animal. If you a baller nigga, then bring your hardest nigga. I don't give a fuck if he acting hard or retarded nigga. I get him started to a different planet. I'm a wild individual, biting hard as an animal.
Yeah, I hate that song because you want to know why?
Why?
Because I get so many stares and so many looks like, is this nigga talking about me? And yes, I'm talking about everybody in the industry. Everybody just got cutthroat. When you hear baller, I'm coming at everybody. Everybody that was an artist, you ever sung, sing, rap, poetry, whatever. I'm coming at you in that joint. Baller.
All right, I know that's right. But you know, while I just try to get in, we had some funny news.
All right, let's do some funny news.
This is going on. Yeah, you know, it's not a news flash, it's news trash. Okay, news trash Thursday. Let me get the screen big. We waiting for the guest. Oh no, leave it like that. So we wait for the guest. Okay, so these are some things that I have read. So you can call this a slip of the tongue. New Zealand's COVID-19 response minister Chris Hipkins put his foot in his mouth during a press conference on Sunday. He told the citizens of the country to social distance when they go outside and spread their legs. Spread their legs among the pandemic.
Wow.
So he said it's a challenge for the people in high density areas to get outside and spread their legs when they are surrounded by other people. That's what he said. Well, I found it funny. His sexually suggestive gap raised the eyebrows of the New England's Director General of Health, Dr. Ashley Bloomfield. He was standing right next to him when he did the briefing, and his face turned pink when he realized that he had misspoken.
Wow. Spread your legs. So let's go back to Maxwell when we tell
so
them
we're gonna
to
add.
spread their wings. So he basically told them to spread their legs.
All right. I guess
Here
it's
we go.
here.
All right.
We want to welcome
Thank
Lord Rainey. We got Goldilocks
How you doing?
How you
and Papers, and of course me, Danny Smanny. Welcome to the Upper Level Podcast. You come here via internet to discuss the social reforms needed in the jail system. You know, as you experience them.
Absolutely.
And this is for our viewers.
All right.
No questions pertaining to NALD's case will be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
You have the floor.
All right. Thank you. For those who don't know, this is NALD Rainey, Mr. Make It Rain on the Instagram, NALD Rainey on Facebook, and our international. I'm a person who I really don't want to end up saying that I'm an expert on prisons, but however, I spent more than 13 years of my life within the prison system from the time period in which I was a teenager. The last time in which, of course, I was within a jail was only 2 weeks ago, whereas I had the experience of being within CFCF and also within PIC. At this moment in time, it's the worst that I've ever seen it.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's crazy because unfortunately it's as though no one wants to address this topic. And even though it's being presented on the news and literally there's an outcry. I mean, literally when you have deaths that take place, people who are, losing their lives within the jail confinements, it's as though our lives doesn't matter. And the reality of this is that it's almost as though this is the brand new racism. Now, we're already dealing with the past racisms of, of course, ethnicity, nationality, classism, all different types. But this right here, this classism of simply being a person who has been incarcerated, no one cares. And we have to also remember that within the county of Philadelphia, State Road, you have over 5 different jails, some which are open. Of course, we know Creek, the Creek, which is the House of Correction, was shut down 2 years ago. It's the oldest on State Road. You have CFCF, you have PIC, you have DC, you have, unfortunately, you have so many different people, which is about 1,000 people within each jail, at least. 1,500 people within CFCF, which is more like a transitional jail.
Mm-hmm.
So when you add all of that up, on State Road, you have over 5,000 people at one given time from people who've been incarcerated in the city of Philadelphia. Now, we're talking specifically Black and brown men, African Americans, Hispanics, Latinos, whichever you decide to mention it as being. But we're going to these jails, and we're not convicted of the crimes which is being held against us. the charges which are being held against us.
What do you mean?
When you go to the county, you're only being detained. It's not the same case as if you're a state inmate, a state.
You're waiting for your case to come up.
You're still waiting for your case to come up, which is
okay.
You're literally going in for. Let's give an example, and let's talk facts. When you first enter into CFCF, for instance, one, you've just come from the roundhouse or whatever particular district that you entered. They fed you cheese sandwiches or turkey sandwiches for the entire stay that you was there. And a person such as myself, like I keep a semi-vegetarian, alkaline or pescatarian diet. So I don't even want to eat the food. It doesn't even pertain to my diet. I don't even want to just eat anything. But of course, we can't really choose anything while in that system, So where a person like myself, I'm completely removed from just the basics of how my lifestyle is. So now, not only am I in a dirty cell where literally these cells aren't bleached down. Now we're talking about 2021. We're talking about post-COVID era. We already know there's such thing as COVID-19, which they're saying so much about. We want to make sure that no one gets COVID and vaccinations this, vaccinations that. Hygiene, cleanliness. When we go into these cells, nothing is bleached down. You can still see writings on the wall from 1996.
Facts.
You can see, you still see people's names just etched in the paint that they're no longer living, unfortunately.
Oh my God.
Very true.
So when we talk about the outside world, but then we end up talking about being an inmate inside. It's like welcome to a brand new world where nobody cares. And it's as though your life doesn't matter. So now you went from the district, now they transported you on a bus and they brought you into quarantine. Now in quarantine, you got to go through the medical department, which the medical asks you different questions. Are you allergic to anything? Are you going through any type of withdrawal spells? Are you addicted to any drugs? Or do you drink or things of this nature, which of course, some people, they come in dope sick. The new thing is the fentanyl. So some people come in the fentanyl sick. So now imagine myself, I'm a person who I don't drink, I don't do drugs, anything of that nature. So I'm sitting there within the cell and I'm praying to myself, the holding cell. I'm praying saying, okay, I hope that when I get to my unit, I don't have to deal with anybody who's going through withdrawal. Because now you might be placed to a cell where somebody is just throwing up, missing other things, right? Now you're only given one pack, one indigent kit, which is your soap. Yes, your soap. Now, a normal toothbrush, you might get it like this, but we know that most gels they give you a little flexible, a little flexible thumb size toothbrush.
And the soap is like this then?
So you can't make a shiv out of it.
Right. It's plastic anyway, so it bends. But they don't even have that there anymore. They have a thimble. And this thimble is a plastic thimble that has bristles on it. So literally you have to stick your whole hand in your mouth to brush your teeth. Sickening. So now the question again, let's talk about hygiene post-COVID. If you're not even giving me soap, you only gave me one bar of soap. Now, once you go past quarantine, once you enter into the actual block of quarantine, there's no more indigent kits. You're no longer getting any free soap. So somehow that kit is supposed to last you with the toothbrush, the toothpaste, and everything until you get to pre-population.
It's not.
And it's not going to last you. Now, while you're on that unit, they got to give you toiletries. Now, it's 2 men to a cell. You only get one roll of toilet tissue. All the way up to the next week over. So now, it's been mentioned within the Philadelphia Inquirer where it stated people have been placing in grievances, letting it be known like we need more hygiene kits, we need more indigent kits, we need more, toothbrushes, toothpaste, soap, the basic necessities. But it's being ignored. And in fact, if you go to the Daily News, where I believe it was in an Inquirer, I believe it was July 31st, where it mentions because of staffing, they mentioned because of the staffing that certain things aren't being addressed. But the reality is not staffing problems. It's the problems of the Philadelphia mentality of people don't care. And unfortunately, I got to say the Philadelphia mentality, because if you go to certain other counties, you have different people, different other people, and they might run it a little bit better. They may run it a little bit cleaner because they know they have to actually stay there.
Yeah. Montgomery County. Let's state it.
Montgomery County. A place which is, not saying it's a resort, but at least, they're not going to shut the AC off on you.
Right.
Post-COVID.
For 3 days.
During the entire summer. It's summertime heat. We're stuck in a cell. 2 men to a cell is 100 men, more than 100 men to a block. And still they're coming to you and they're saying, well, we want to make sure that everyone is vaccinated. Did you get your vaccination? We got $30 if you want to get your vaccination. We got $30 for commissary if you get your vaccination. Now, nothing against anyone who makes that choice of taking vaccines, or for those who don't take vaccines. That's your personal choice. But however, how is it that you're placing more emphasis on vaccinations while you still have Mercer within the jail?
Right.
Within my time period of being there, it was about 3 or 4 people who had Mercer within the jail.
Scabies. That was crazy.
Exactly.
They putting people on quarantine with scabies.
Even before COVID, it was Mercer and scabies.
Exactly.
I know this personally. My father was in prison for about 7 years, and he had a hole in his leg the size of a football because of Mercer.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's look at this part as well. Now, that's just the basic part of being inside a cell, where you have to. If you have some rapport with a CO, if you got some family that's COs, if you have to show some muscle to get some respect from the COs, then you might be able to get some bleach or some detergent to get to your cell, so you can be able to do it yourself and wipe down the walls yourself, right? Now,
I know where you're going with this. This is crazy. And it's one of the most disgusting ever. I know what you're talking about. I know where you're going.
Like, there's literally, for my time being there was literally people who, if you open up their cell for at least 5 seconds, the entire tier will smell like about 20 homeless men. And that's only the best way I can be able to describe it. There's certain people who have never been in the showers. There's certain people who, unfortunately, I had another cellie who, when I asked him the question, I said, yo, cellie, where your toothbrush at? Where your toothpaste at? He said, they haven't given me any for the past month.
Oh my God.
Right? Now we're talking about, pre-population quarantine status. Now, also, let's understand this part too. If the block workers, the people or the block workers, they're only allowed out there a certain amount of times, but at the same time, they get a certain amount of perks just to jump on the phone. You're not really getting paid, you're getting perks to jump on the phone. You're just outside yourself. That's the perks of being a block worker, right?
Right.
So now you have the situation of being within the showers. None of the showers. Now we have people, administrative people who are walking around, I hope prison society is listening to me when I'm speaking, because you do have people who walk around and they look around and they see what's going on, but they don't really listen. It's not, not saying all of you, but the case is that some people, it may sound like they're playing, but it's a reality. It was said that people had to use their own sheets and rip their sheets just to use the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't have any more toiletries. Personally, I wasn't one of them. I made sure I had enough. But I made a stretch.
Right.
But however, there's many people who they're placed into that circumstance where they didn't have anything. And now the next part, which is for me, it was the case of, now where do we put our feet at when we step into the shower? Because those block workers, they're only going to clean up the morning time and possibly the nighttime. But however, it's like you have again over 100 people who, even if they can't get into the shower with soap, some of them may get into the shower. So
crazy. Let me elaborate on that.
But let me mention this one last
part. Go ahead.
While some people get the opportunity to get out their cell, and it's blocked, this day room, there's no bathroom on the unit. So therefore, if a person is dope sick, if a person is just coming off from any type of issues, even with their stomach or whatever, guess where they going to the bathroom at?
And they said right there in the cell.
No. That was locked down, so that means they got to go to that shower.
Oh, yeah.
The same
hold on. Rewind. Hold on. Say that again. This is crazy. Rewind that again. Hold on.
Say that again.
This is nothing new.
This is an all-time high right here. I listen, all my time in there, I haven't seen this. You say this again.
If a person got to use that bathroom, and of course everything is at the discretion of the CEO. The CEO got control over the unit. If the CEO's not opening up that cell.
Right.
They came out that cell and they locked their door. They're going to that shower to relieve themselves. And that's the same place in which we have to get into the showers to at least wash our bodies in the same place where someone else relieve themselves. And then mind you, again, we're on quarantine, which means that there's no commissary. So having no commissary means nobody has shower shoes yet.
No.
So how sanitary is that?
It's not.
Exactly.
It's never sanitary. It's never good inside a prison. Listen, they used to have these black bugs that would fly, and they never would fly away when you would whack them. And it was like, where was they coming from? And one day I was upstate. I was up Monohoy, and I said, CO, I said, we ain't doing this. I said, we cleaning this joint. Y'all need to get the stuff. And I went to the most anal CO there was. You want to know what he told me? He said, Doris, I'm thankful you did this. And I said, wow, coming from him, because he was anal. And you know what he did? He made sure that I had everything that I needed, all the products. I went in there and I scrubbed. I'm talking about the mold that was inside of these cells, the cigarette smoke that was inside of these cells, the piss smell that was inside of these smells, inside of these joints. So I walked in there and I said, you know what? And I did it just like I said. It's a new sheriff in town, and y'all not gonna be smoking in here. I'm Muslim. Y'all not gonna be smoking in here. This is where we clean up. This is the cleanest place. I want it to be clean, and this is how it's gonna be. Dudes looked at me and they was like, but then my uncle stepped in. And everybody was, all right, we on board. Kept everything clean. I'm talking about every block I went to, I had to scrub because it was nasty. Let me tell you something, Nard. When I went to go clean up one day and they let us use the stripper, like we used for the floor, so we used it for the bathroom, right? The showers, bang, we threw it in there, right? Get the scrubbing. I'm in there. I don't even care. I'm in there. I'm getting high. I'm like this. When I tell you, I seen the bugs come from out of the hole before the flies could manifest. It was thousands of them coming from out of where they was at because I was throwing all the stuff up in there, and it was thousands of them. They was all like little worms, and you could see them about to, and it was nasty. It all came from mold, piss, nut, and just everything that you could imagine. And the fact that y'all gonna sit there and let us do this and just look at us as trash is just completely.
Again, this is slavery. This is the new. It's always been said that in regards to incarceration, like this is taking your freedom away. This is the modern day slavery. Now the thing is that most people will end up saying, well, if you can't do the crime, if you can't do the time, do the crime. If you can't do the time, then don't do the crime.
Right.
But the reality is that there's people such as myself who are innocent. There's people who
half of the time is no crime. It's just you just caught in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Exactly. And people will end up saying that's cliche, but the reality is that how much that's a prejudice, that's a bias. You're not supposed to look at it as though because handcuffs was placed on you that automatically you're going to jail. And that's what happens, unfortunately. Most people count people out and say, well, he's away. He's going to be away for a long time, and that's that. And they they discredit their family members. They forget their family members. They forget their friends. They forget the people who pretty much, you know, have been out there to assist them and whatever for the entire time, because it's a bias, it's a cultural, social, you know, stigma that as soon as you go to jail, well, out of sight, out of mind.
Out of mind. Yes,
They don't care.
100%.
So the thing is that we gotta raise some awareness. I always say this: whatever goes on within the jail system, that's what you get on the streets. Jail is like an oven, and
Yes.
with that oven, if you put the bread in and you put your ingredients in there, and then whatever ingredients you put in there, you set it on that timer. After that timer allows it to cook, everything starts to rise. When you pull it out, that's what you get back to the streets, and that's your fathers. That's your sons.
Yo, that's well put.
That's your nephews. That's your cousins. So imagine we're all within CFCF. We're all within PIC. We all within DC. We're all within, you know, all of the different jails on state road. And at the end of the day, we haven't been given any books to read.
None.
We haven't been. How about you send up to your friends, your family members, some cryptocurrency books, some Bitcoin books, how to get into real estate books, for those who want to work on themselves or work on their hearts while they're there.
Yeah, I do that now. I got my celly. He was a lifer. I sent him money, and I sent him books, everything. And actually, the 3 cops that was on this case just got locked up. They was on Dateline 2 weeks ago. So 30-some years he been down is now looking good for him. Alhamdulillah. You know what I'm saying? It's looking good for him. And the sigh of relief when he called me, it's special because it's like, yo, they was on Dateline, bro. Like, you didn't even commit this crime. And it's crazy because my uncle and him is in prison for crimes that they didn't commit. And you know the same thing that everybody say. All right, cool. I didn't get caught for the crimes that I did do. This is my punishment for the crime that I did. You know what I'm saying? And it's nah, forget that. You ain't do the crime. You shouldn't be in there. Right. Regardless. I don't care what type of case these police trying to make. Judges, how they trying to feed their kids, it should not matter, because if we all stand down and stop crime and start believing in ourselves and sticking to ourselves, we will cripple the system. We will cripple this manipulated system that will fall, because we are the ones that support. That we're the product. We're the product, and if we stop and halt right now, the product that's in there, they're gonna try to keep them in there because they know we ain't doing nothing else. So they're gonna have to let them out sooner or later.
And this is where the saying goes: divided we fall, together we stand. And we as a people have to realize the prison was designed. Once they let us go as slaves, they designed another system to captivate us, which was the prison system in the jails. So they start doing petty crimes as soliciting and jaywalking and different stuff of that nature, just so they could lock us down, because they felt like we were going to disobey, because now we're free when we're really not even free. Right.
And I'm gonna tell you when it happened. It happened during the prohibition, right? And they shut down the prohibition. That one cop that shut down the prohibition thing, that's the same guy who started policing. So then because now the black man was on the rise, because everybody that did the prohibition thing, you know, was in the tuck, and then all of a sudden when they had their stuff, they came back out with it. So what he did, he was like, you know what? I'm going after the black people. And he set up a police. They called it the police. They policed themselves, policed the people. And then this is how they started everything. And it was right after prohibition. And it's crazy. This is one guy. One guy did it. And it was, I forget his name. And it was one guy, and he followed them. And ever since then, you know, it was, like you said, another form of slavery.
And he only needed one to follow. If you get that one that hate us, they're going to follow regardless. No matter if it's the dumbest law they come up with, they're going to follow it because they don't like the color of our skin.
Now I want to bring it back. I want to bring it back to what's going on here in Philly, though, right?
Yeah.
Because the thing is that, like, you know, you mentioned Monohoy. Now that's a whole different monster, because one, that's already being convicted, and that's already being in the mountains with, you know, people who we know is not us.
Right.
These situations that we're talking about is here with our own.
Mhm.
And with our own, we have to understand, like, the care, like I've heard this, you know, even from some of the CEOs that was within the jail. And mind you, if there's supposed to be 300 CEOs that's working the whole state road, maybe only 150 appeared for work that day.
Right.
That's one of the issues that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's, you know, there's CEOs who's getting PUA and all type of other situations.
Yeah, I seen it the other day. It was on the TV, and they showed it how everybody is knocking on their doors, ready to get out. Nobody's bringing medicine. They're not bringing no medicine. They're not feeding them, and they're not giving them the proper stuff. It's crazy, and actually, they're ready to. It's dudes in there that's ready. As soon as they get their hands on a guard, they're gonna pull them in the cell because they reach their max. That PTSD is working hard behind them jails, man.
There's no
Tell us
person.
a little bit about your mission, Justice for Rainey. Tell us about that.
All right. Well, the Justice for Rainey is simply based off of, you know, pertaining to the case in which I have, which is I'm not supposed to be incarcerated. It's been mentioned from so many different lawyers. Had I not been in the state of PA, I wouldn't even be charged at all. So now the thing is that when we end up looking at certain laws, like we mentioned, there has to be a reinterpretation for us, because it's okay if we have certain laws that it works for rural PA, it works for suburbia, it works for, you know, places in which it's not going down at. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if we know that certain laws aren't working for our people, we have to raise awareness. If you end up getting into this case, if you end up getting into this particular charge, most case scenario, you're going to get railroaded. And it's bad to look at it like that, but it's like, even today, when I posted on my Mr. Make It Rain page, you know, I have received many comments based off of, you know, people were saying, well, you know, just make sure that you don't say too much about the case. The reality with me is that I know the truth will set me free, because anyone who understands what took place, the whole question will be, well, what would you do then? So the case is that it's like, if our common sense has to coincide with the law,
hold on. Let me stop you right here. I understand that we can't talk about your case,
right?
But can we ask, what were you charged with?
Absolutely. I was charged with attempted homicide, double attempted homicide, aggravated assault, possession of an instrument of crime, person who is not eligible to possess a firearm, firearm on public streets.
Damn.
Pretty much everything was, like it stated, if the DA and prosecutors can be able to prosecute a cheeseburger, they're going to put everything on it. So it's going to be the sesame seed bun, it's going to be the cheese, it's going to be the tomatoes, the onions, the lettuce, and it's for you during court to take the parts that doesn't apply off.
Wow. That was real well put, I swear.
But well, this is the thing, you know. I see. I'm not trying to talk about the case, but I know that he's a victim. Okay, I just know that he's a victim. Okay, so I'm leaving it up to you. You know.
So yeah, I'm going to mention in regards to that.
Okay.
It's like these things that has all taken place. Imagine, you know, and I'm going to say before I say anything that these are all things just for a person to understand the circumstance, not exactly the details of exactness of everything that took place, only because for court purposes, you know, I don't want anything to be utilized against me in a court of law. But just say for just to understand the gist of it, that you're within your own home, and you're within your own home with another person who is there with you. Your name is either on the deed or on the mortgage, and you have someone who pretty much comes in to rob you. Now they're within your home. Now while they're within your home, you defend yourself in the best way that you know possible, because at that split second when you're there, you have no one to call because they're already in your house.
Home invasion?
A home invasion.
Okay.
And home invasion definition is anyone who rather by way of assault, kidnapping, homicide, simple assault, or any type of crime enters into a property that is not theirs.
I can't do nothing.
So in this case, it's like if you call 911 and you wait for them to get there, when you get there, you might be dead on the floor.
I see.
But however,
well, this is things that we know that will go down.
Exactly. So in the state of PA, you don't have a stand your ground law. The stand your ground law is, of course, anyone who becomes the aggressor, anyone who becomes the one who attacks, then if anything takes place, then pretty much you called it, you brought it upon yourself, because one, why are you messing with a person within their own home? Why are you trying to do anything towards another person? So
we thought
in PA, you have to go through, like, there's certain criteria that you have to match. If not, you still get charged, even as the homeowner.
There's no wow.
So there's no self-defense law?
He's
No,
not
there's
saying.
there's never been a self-defense law within the state of PA.
In the state of
Not
PA.
the
Wow. So we've been thinking that because other states had it, that we had it too.
No, well, it's not even a point of thinking about the law. When something like that happens, there's no law. The law is ours.
Right.
Yeah.
If you run up, pardon my French, let me finish saying what I'm saying.
Right.
When you run up in my shit, you're gonna get what I give you. That's what's gonna happen.
Facts.
Now the thing is
that's the law.
This is that's natural. That's natural.
Or I'll say a relative's house, a friend's house, any house that I'm at, when somebody comes in that wasn't invited and on some raw shit.
Now this is another aspect of that of law of Philadelphia. If you say, for instance, you just mentioned that if you was at a cousin's home or anyone else who you're in their home, but you're not on the lease, you're not on the deed.
Right. That's our mentality.
If you take care of, if you defended yourself the way that you're supposed to defend yourself and made sure that those people who are entering into your home or enter into your cousin's home, they fled. They still have the ability to press charges against you because it's not your home. And then secondly, you specifically can't call the police, and you specifically can't say that I'm placing in this complaint because someone gave me someone home invaded me or home invaded my cousin's property. In Philadelphia, you have to get the person who owns the property to say that. If not, it would not.
So you can't. So you just dummy up, and
so basically you allow your family to be in danger because it's not your home, it's not your property, it's not your premises. So you cannot call the police. You cannot. Basically, you're helpless at this point. If you're somewhere and you're in danger, you're not supposed to do nothing. You're just supposed to be a mannequin.
The only thing in which they have in PA is a departure from sentencing, which is called a justifiable homicide, which means that you don't get let off from the situation. You don't get let off from the case. Right. The justifiable homicide just means it's departure from sentencing, which means you still get found guilty, and you go to jail, just not for as long as they was initially going to give you.
That's crazy.
So I don't understand the part where you say that if I'm at my cousin's house and something goes down, I can't call the police.
You can call the police, but they will not accept your testimony in regards to a home invasion or in regards to unlawful
but what I'm asking you is, will they come because I summoned them? My cousin will come here, but guess somebody bust up in the house and we need your assistance.
But you're gonna go
They
to
will
jail.
come, but those people.
No, I'm not gonna go to jail. I didn't do anything. But
No. The thing is
They
that if you did fight those people, they can call the police. They
no,
can
I'm
tell
not
the
saying
police to
I
lock you up.
fought. I'm just trying to get an understanding.
No, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying, like, listen to what I'm saying closely. If they came to your house to do your cousin harm, but you was there and you fought them off,
Oh yeah.
but you call the police, it's not your home, you can still get locked up and they can press charges against you.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So there's no protection nowhere.
They don't care.
It's different. And the thing is that this issue of self-defense in PA, it needs to be looked at a little bit closer. And so therefore the Justice for Rainey is actually dealing with, we need to open up these books and find out, well, what's the reinterpretation? Because right now we have people that's on, for instance, everyone is coming home on house arrest. How many people have been murdered on ankle monitor with an ankle bracelet?
Wow.
How many people now have been dealt with? Unfortunately, someone rung their doorbell and ran into their home at gunpoint.
Right, especially if you're dealing with a case that you have to notify the opposite person when they're being released.
Mm-hmm.
So it's danger all the way around.
Unfortunately,
you're not safe at all.
One of the first times I even came across this, which, you know, even from that time period, I understood how PA works. So by no means am I ignorant of the law. It's just amazing that it's still being done. Whereas at 18 years old, when I first went upstate, one of my friends was incarcerated for 7 to 20 years because he already got shot in his projects, and coming down to the Sally Port, the same person who shot him was waiting for him. He got the upper hand on him and still got 7 to 20.
Wow.
Recently, there was a young guy right before I went for my preliminary hearing, and they recognized what was going on, and they allowed me to be able to have a better bail, which initially it was $2 million for a situation that, you know, that took place in my own home. That this person, this kid, he was 18 years old. They gave him 20 to 40. And from everyone who I talked to that knew his case, they said that was a self-defense. The only aspect is it didn't match up with the only self-defense law that we have in PA, which is the castle law.
And how does that work?
The castle law means that, one, you have to, what is the aggression that's used during your defense?
Okay.
Is it equal for equal? Is it depending on where the person was shot? Was it below the waist, over the waist? Did they turn around? Were they on your property? Did they fall off your property? There's an entire movie called Felon the Movie. There's a movie
called what?
Felon with Val Kilmer. Is a movie called Felon where this is not the state of PA, but this is actually dealing with California, which also has the castle law in effect as well. Whereas a man was inside his own home with his wife, with his child, and in the middle of the night, a home invader breaks into the home, ready to come into his bedroom, and he has a bat. He gets to chasing the guy out the home, and when he actually gets a chance to hit this guy, the guy falls, but he falls off of his property. So when he falls off of his property, this man is given a homicide because they said, unfortunately, in this state that we're in, you have to go by the criteria. And if you don't go by that criteria, you're going upstate.
So, because he fell over the railing after I hit him and tripped off my property.
Exactly.
I no longer get away. So then, damn.
Because you weren't thinking about it because you wanted him off anyway.
No, not even that. Once if he landed on his property, it would have been a self-defense.
Yeah.
But because he landed off of his property once he hit him, it was no longer self-defense. Now it's a homicide. That's why I said two-edged sword, no matter what you do, it's a 50-50 chance no matter what you do in this life.
And many people don't even know about this. Many people, like, they believe or think that the law is going to work for them because, like, again, if you're placed into a position where, you know, you're an upstanding citizen, you're a person who you've been working, and when I say upstanding citizen, I'm not discluding any of the people who have been felons, any person who has been a convict. I came home 8 years ago, and in my 8 years, I was staff member, mentor, boot camp instructor, worked with transport between Vision Quest and the Youth Study Center, was the recruiter for the Safe Corridors program, became a person who was a volunteer for most of the things that happens within my community, within my ward, in my neighborhood, underneath not only the congressman, the senator, the state representative. I took part in so many different things, even including the election poll, that the people of my neighborhood placed me on the ballot. I didn't ask to be on the ballot. I was placed on the ballot, and I've served my community as a committeeman for my ward for 4 years. I've had the opportunity to shake hands with Obama twice.
Oh, wow.
That's wonderful.
I mean, when it comes down to, and you know, Janny, you definitely know, not only that, but I also opened up record labels and also helped artists make it to their destination, whether they be lyricists, whether they be rappers, whether they be actors, introducing them to the right contacts so they can pop up on web series, on movies, on, you know, all different type of situations in which, I mean, I've literally had a beautiful civilian life and never had to return back to the streets.
It's going to get better. I'm seeing good things for you, Rainey. You still got Av?
Of course, he's still around. He's getting, because unfortunately, because of so much, you know, of the hate that takes place, you know. And don't get me wrong, with so much love that comes, there's so much hate that comes. Whereas again, people want what you have.
Yes.
Right.
And so right now, Av is good. He's very good. I'm gonna just leave it as that.
Don't worry, fam. Don't worry, fam. You always have us. You can always reach out to us. We are advocates for this type of stuff. You know what I mean? And if you need us, you know, on your mission, Justice for Rainey, we're here. Papers. He knows more than I know about this. You enlightened me a lot about what's going on.
Yeah, well,
I don't know how much good I can. I don't know how much good I can do, but I'm definitely a blogger and a researcher. And if you need my hands, you got them.
Yeah, I'll definitely, if possible, I'll give you my number of exchange. I actually wrote a book called Manipulated System. I'm not all the way done yet. I wanted to actually finish it once I got off parole, and I just got off parole in March. So you know, I'm a product of the same environment and the same twisted legal stuff that they got going on out here, and you know, so you know, I feel your pain and I feel everybody's pain that's going through it. So yeah, most definitely. And I appreciate you coming out and giving the world your story. You feel what I'm saying, and explaining to everybody about the laws and stuff like that, and you know, really giving them a good insight on what's really going on, because at the end of the day, man, you keep backing a animal in the corner, they're gonna bite. And what they need to do is get a grip on them prison systems before it go crazy, and then they're gonna have more to worry about, you know what I mean, than just, you know, that. You know what I mean?
Well, I just want to say, you know, thank you for everybody who been supporting me from being within the prison system, coming fresh home from out of PIC. Definitely much love to Michael Cord, who he was the first lawyer to jump on board to say, you don't even deserve to be in there. I've been watching you for a while, so I see everything that you're doing in the community. So some people, no matter how much we look at the jail system and we see so many people that's going to jail for gun violence and all these crimes, not everyone are the same. and there should be certain exceptions where cases are by a case-by-case basis. It's not supposed to be just strict according to just these guidelines, and that's it. And if you don't fall into it, you don't get justice.
Right. And with that being said, I would like to say that I always started this. I always thought that once you got your felony and you did your time, and you were ready to come back, you should be able to get a second chance. And it should be wiped away. Everything should be wiped away. Once you do the prison time, you should come out, everything should be wiped away, and you should get your second chance. Now, once you get your second chance, then I would say that they have every right to come and do whatever they want, because you were given that second chance, an opportunity. But I feel as though once we come home from doing our time, we should be given a clear path to become whatever, because I feel as though I'm a changed person. I feel as though I could go work for a government official and do some good work, and you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And you know what I mean, change my life around just as much as you did. You teaching kids and stuff like that to stay on the right track, and you know what I mean. Why do you see that greatness in us when it's time to come out? How we're glowing and how we're ready to get back to the streets. But once we get back, it's a dungeon, because we're trapped again. We have nothing. It's quarantine all over again. It's you know what I mean?
And it takes us to change it.
Yeah, it does.
It's gonna take more than us.
We have to change these laws. We see how the people power even worked for Meek. You know, and I was there during the rallies. I was there behind the scenes. When it comes down to the people power, unfortunately, a lot of people don't even understand that aspect. Whereas if you end up going to court and there's only one person or maybe no people that's there to support you in that courtroom, the judges feel as though they can do whatever they want with you.
Yep.
If you come in there and you have an entire community standing behind you, and it's like, no, we're not letting you do this to this man. And that's what we're also pushing right here. Whereas for all of those who actually know me and know how many different working with Nicetown CDC, Give Back Day, being a person to bring out a lot of the artists that's on that stage, helping along with the Old Guys. At the time, it was called the Old Guys Jazz Festival, but also having a stage on in regards to Old Guys Avenue, all of which is part of the 9th District, all part of my ward. In regards to so many other different places and things that was for the War Against Teen Violence campaign, the Put Down the Guns campaigns, I was active.
Yes.
I'm still active. I'm still doing, even right now on bail, I'm still doing Feed the Homeless campaigns. I'm still doing Clean Up the Community campaign. Unfortunately, also because of the circumstance, they're not even allowing me to be back in my own neighborhood.
Well, shout out to Mr. Make It Rain. Y'all go follow him. I just followed him. Paper Bands, I just followed you. He's giving back to the community. Go listen to him, understand from him. And this is our song. This is the song I wrote from Manipulated System, how they ostracize us and they making money off of it. Let's take them out. Thanks, Rain. I appreciate you, brother. Stay strong. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I blame the government for setting the trap and leaving us dead to die. They say they helping the helpless, no helping at all. Crime on the streets is still
Paper Man back with a Banger Man sitting here with Janny Smanny in the Comfort Level Podcast at WCMD. We just had a phenomenal person on, Mr. Make It Rain. You feel what I'm saying? Fighting for justice. You know what I'm saying? For everybody and anybody. So let's keep it going, baby. Peace out. Y'all have a good one.